Hello and welcome back to Infinifactory. Today we are going to work on a terrestrial surveyor. Of course, we have no idea what that means until we actually get there. But okay, it's a little rover type machine with 3 different inputs.
I miss having someone to talk to. Remember Floyd? Poor Floyd. I liked hearing his voice. It made it a little less lonely out here. And these goddamn aliens just left him to die. What a-holes. It sure isn't how I want to go. And that poor dog, too. I think it was a golden retriever. They're so sweet. How could they do that to a dog? See? Total a-holes.
Okay, that's just gonna come out. Let's get some entry points here. We're gonna do our old take 4 and push strategy there. We'll do something similar here, except this is facing the wrong direction. Gonna have to use lifters, but let's run, see how quickly we're getting these items. Okay, so for now this is fine. These have a 4 block gap, so let's go ahead and add those 4 to it. And we'll put that on the side there. We'll throw a sensor up here. String some conduit up the back. Okay, so what we need it's actually not quite enough, is it? Are these coming at odd intervals? They are. That's strange. I wonder why they're doing that. So this one moves down. I'm hoping because I'm taking an even number, it's gonna line up fine. But it's kind of hard to say, really. Let's have him drop the whole way down. That'll happen. We would want this to happen. And I think we also want pusher there. with conduit and a sensor here. And that should be all we really need to do to assemble the centerpiece. And then it's going to come out and turn. But I don't think I want it turning that way. I think I want it to turn this way. Get to that point, I've only got 4, so I need to add about 6 more blocks to this. Unless I want to blow them all up in the air, which is possible. Let's work with that as the idea. Let's not sure exactly how high these are going to blow. Let's put it here for now. And let's see how that functions. Okay, they don't quite go that high. So, push block here. Conduit there. Sensor there. And then I think we'll go ahead and do a little bit of tack here so that this can stay standing. That's 4. Still need about 6 more for this, I think. It's actually lining up pretty nicely. We're going to also be lifting this up. But we'll focus on that in a little bit. Right now, let's get this. Okay. Nope. This button. And then I'm thinking we're gonna just have it all push off to one side, but that could be something I change. Sensor here. Push blocks. Boop. Like that. Okay, I was actually thinking let's go ahead and switch that to the other one. And then we'll put the lifter back here. And hopefully we'll be able to send this over the top of that structure. Boop. They all get pushed out. That's beautiful. Let's, yeah, this is already going wrong, so let's see what happens here. Well, that one's not getting shoved for starters. Is it pushing it too? Oh, yeah, it is. Huh. So I need to change the design of that a bit. I mean, I'm hoping it's simple enough that I can just put the sensor on the back piece instead. Like so. You didn't construct this correctly at all, did you? Okay, so really all I want to do, take all this out, and just have him go down, and then that should do the job. Boop, perfectly there. Except that it didn't get welded together, which is a bit awkward, but it's not a problem. We just throw that welder on there, and then move the sensor to this side. Simple enough. Those pieces get put in, that gets thrown out, and it's lifted to this point, which is not quite high enough to get over this guy, which I think we kind of expected, but it's not a huge issue because there's other things we can do with that. So let's this is about 1 high, so we're gonna go sensor here, conduit, pusher, and then I'm hoping that we can send it that way, but I'm not sure if that's going to exactly work. Yeah, that's going to get in the way. That's going to get in the way. So put another blower up there. Try this again. Okay. And then push block, conduit, sensor. One more. And that should get that piece in place. Boop. And it's gonna drop right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's build a little instruction port there, just so it knows where it's going. Alright. Now these gonna do that. Put a little welder here. Wait, are we putting the welder there? Probably not. Wait, what the hell just happened? Oh, I didn't. Whoops. Okay, try that again. Or they get pushed off. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. The question would be, can I put a rotator here and then have it leave? Will that function the way I need it to? Yes, okay, beautiful. And I'm going to want a very similar setup on this one as well. And then we will do rotator. I think it's taken away. Okay, run it again. And again. Oh my goodness. These little mistakes make me laugh every time. Okay, run this down. Beautiful. I mean, I think for you, you can just do that. I'm hoping for a very similar outcome for this one. Yep, that's exactly what I want. That thing's on its way. He needs to be... I think he needs to be one higher. So he does need to hit a lift. So we'll go ahead and stick that in there for now. And then we'll... I like building these when I don't know what the height is, because it always leads to me just doing it again. Oh, that actually... okay, that's cool. Okay, give me a 6 and then a 7. And really, you're just gonna wait at some point. Shit. Okay, there. And let's have you... place it there like that, I think. I think we can get away with that, and then it's going to be a matter of tacking a sensor to when we need that piece to drop. Okay, we also need to put just a delay switch right there. And I'm actually seeing, okay, that's not a delay switch. That's a rotator. Okay, I'm gonna put this damn rotator down there because it seems like that's the one we're using all the damn time. Okay, so that waits, and basically I'm thinking that might even be a sensor. Let's give that a shot. Let's make that sensor. Let's see if we can do it like that. Nope. Nope, not like that. Okay. Not like that. So I mean, guessing we just take it down a notch and put the sensor here. And that should fully construct the thing. Boop. Perfect. All we need now that's now in the way of the track. The track's not falling. Okay, let's rerun this. Okay, I mean we can really. No, damn it! Do it again. I want to see what the point is. Right there. Okay. So, we can actually throw that sensor up back here. And that'll still function the same way. The only problem now is welding the whole thing together. Because there it is. I mean, that's your machine. We've got to weld it together, and then we've got to shove it. that's a little bit of an ask. So I'm thinking, unfortunately, that we're going to have to build it further back. So the pieces aren't, we don't want the pieces falling into place, we want them rolling into place. And then we can put vertical welders. Because that solves the welding problem. 100%. We would just do 3 verticals across this part, and then we would have 2 horizontals sitting on this side. And really it's just the tracks, because I mean I could right now put those right there. That wouldn't be an issue at all. And the tracks are getting there first. So I don't think we want it falling that far. We don't want to add another lifter to this. That's going to overcomplicate it. But you have that going in like that. Whoops. And then we get some vertical welders that we position like this. But that centerpiece needs to come in too. How's that happening? Well, that I think we can do like this. And now the centerpiece will fly over and then position itself back. So I don't think that's an issue. So now we just need that'll spin and drop. And then roll into place. I think. I really thought I was going to have to like deconstruct the whole thing, but I may have found a nicer solution to this. Okay. This box drops. Ah! What happened? What actually happened here? We got a few problems. First one being that that's getting triggered a little bit too fast. Would it be in... Well, let's find out. So just asking, let's just find out. Would it be enough to put the sensor there? Nope, that breaks the whole damn thing. That breaks the whole dang thing. Okay, we'll figure that out later. What I really need to see right now is what's going wrong with these tracks. And was it going wrong before is also a big question. Oh, it gets itself in the way. That's what's going wrong. It got itself... When it spins, it delays that block by 1. So that should be fixable by just moving this out. I'm hopeful. Okay, that's so far fine. Yeah. Stop. 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 God damn it. Man, hitting the wrong button. Quite a frustrating exercise. Alright, now run this. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay. Did I accidentally spin that one? What the hell? Don't know how I did that. Okay, those are all getting made. And they continue to function, which is a very important part of this whole thing. Now, we need... Man, oh man, oh man. Now that second track's getting there too fast. I think we're gonna have to make a welding system that moves out of the way. I don't see a real alternative here. So what I want to see, this comes out, and really what I want to see is that it turns and then goes this way. It still needs to be lifted though. It actually has to be lifted. So can we have it? Damn it. Okay, let's have that as is. But let's forget about these. And let's just... drop that like that. I know it's gonna get stuck. But that works. That does what I need it to do. Except that it's getting stuck here. But already that other track is done. So like this track needs to go on a delay or something. I don't really see a viable alternative. Like this spins, and then goes on a delay? Like, is that good enough? Look at it. It's too... Oh, goodness. Still too early. So now, like, it's coming down, down, down. It's gonna spin to the side. And now it's gonna go back. Like, man, oh man. Put more of a delay on that. This one, too, needs a big delay. It's running into a brick wall here. Okay, now that's all on a delay. Run, 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 run. They're in place. Ooh. It actually looks like it got there a moment too soon. Let's rerun that. Let's see exactly what happens here, because that's in place. It drops. It gets shoved back. It's just one. It's one tile too much. So let's try it like that. Okay, that's good. Now we need to decide okay, let's see which piece gets here last. So I think okay, we're gonna try to do some things here. Let's first see. We're gonna wrap the conduit over the output so we know it's not in the way. Okay, that'll push that piece into place. And then I'd like a sensor here with hopefully conduit. No, because when it spins, it's gonna end up comes out here. It spins that way. That's gonna put that in the way. Okay, so not there. Maybe down this way. I can squeeze. Oh, nope. can squeeze myself in here. Maybe we can get it to come down. Well, we've learned before that we can get rid of blocks. So we'll get rid of that one. And what the hell? Try to condo up. A pusher right there. I'm hoping this works. I'm somewhat optimistic right now. Tracks go on delays. They sit. Okay, that's working. Okay, do another one. Work twice. Yes. Okay, we did it. Woo! It took a little while. It took a lot of really tight engineering too, which I actually like. I appreciate that I had to really get in and put a lot of shit right here in one little spot. But we got it done. So let's do the talk through. Let's look at the tracks first. They're coming out here and they need to rise up. I think they just start too low, frankly. Like they're on line with this. Yeah, they just frankly start too low. And I don't know that does anything right there. So let's get rid of that. And yeah, they just come out and just immediately hit a lifter, and at the top we have a sensor which pushes them out onto an elevated conveyor system. And of course this system, which I've done 1,000 times, it hits the sensor at the end and all of them get pushed off. And then we're making 2 tracks of 3 here. So block 1 and block 4 will go forward into a welding station as blocks 2 and 5 come forward, get welded to it, and then once blocks 3 and 6 get to the welder, they're going to push the welded system out, get welded themselves, and then it immediately spins and goes onto a new conveyor system. And this system has a delay in it because the tracks are coming very fast. I don't think they're really necessarily coming faster than the other stuff, but they are a lot closer to the output, so they're getting there faster. So we just got a big delay system that they have to go through, and they drop into the large welding pad that has become typical of my designs. Meanwhile, same system over here except without a lifter. 4 blocks come out, they get pushed off, and these all are just sent to a welder in the configuration I need them. So block 1 falls at the front, blocks 2 and 3 fall in the middle. These all get welded together, of course, and then block 4 takes up the rear, will get welded and also trigger a sensor which pushes the whole system out. It spins into the orientation it needs, gets lifted into a sensor which pushes it over into another lifter and up over the whole thing. It will fall down onto this one single conveyor belt which shoves it back in. And the reason we had to do it like that was in order to have everything we need in this tight space. We needed to use overhead welders to weld the 2 tracks to the centerpiece. So it goes up over the welders, hits that, and goes back in underneath these 3 overhead welders, which weld the centerpiece to the tracks. Meanwhile, this one's pretty simple. The top piece floats up, hits a sensor, sits on a spinner, which gets its proper orientation. It gets pushed along by another one, and then it just sits there and waits. And then once they all 3 come together, this thing hits, whoops, tracks roll in after they hit the delay. There's one. Alright, there's a couple things that are happening here. Number 1, This second track is actually hitting a sensor that runs up over the output and will shove the top piece off. That's what's happening here first. Okay, so that gets shoved off. Second, whoop, god damn it, wrong button, sorry. I apologize for that. Alright, this one comes in. Second, this one hits this rear-facing conveyor, so it gets backed up into the overhead welder. This guy is falling in just on top, and that actually happens really tight. Falls in on top, so centerpiece gets welded to the top piece as well. So we've got this horizontal welding system there. And what also happens here is that top piece triggers this sensor, which triggers this push block underneath to send the whole thing out. Look at how tight this happens. Boom. Just as fast as that thing falls on there. Oh no, it failed. It failed. It did too, but now it's fucked. Oh no. Why? What happened? Everything's cool for 2 cycles, but then it breaks. See, this goes. And it goes. It's something with the timing on that second track. It works fine there. It works fine there, but then it takes too long. I mean, this isn't completely ruined right now, but that is not the best news. What I'm going to try to do, I'm hoping I can just fix this by moving the sensor down here and taking a little bit of a delay out of that track, but this is an interesting problem. I don't know how many times I've faced it working for a little bit and then not working. Okay, now it's worked 3, 4. Okay, that did it. Thankfully that did it. The only thing we did here, we took a little bit of the delay out of this track, so that thing gets there faster, and then we moved the sensor down so that that top piece gets pushed later. So it was that this track here, once it got to this point, it would trigger that piece to be pushed, but now it's just waits 2 more ticks and gets pushed now, and this is actually really tight timing. Look at this. It backs in directly underneath that. There's no wasted time there. And it worked for 4 cycles, so I'm thinking we're good. But yeah, the only change we made from the top through that we just did was that now the right conveyor has less of a delay and triggers the top piece a little bit later in its cycle. That's the only 2 delays we made there, and it is functioning very nicely. Done. Cycle score, very good compared to the average, but these quite high. But that's okay. You know, I've never been too worried about that. We've got the anti-javelin point defense next, and we will be done with location number 5. And from the looks of things, there's only 1 more to go. So we are very near the end of this. I'm having a good time. it doesn't feel like the difficulty is ramped up in the same way that Shenzhen did, but we do still have another zone to work in, so I'm probably speaking too soon. But as always, thank you guys for watching this one. I hope I see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.